Good morning. This is the third time I've tried to make this video. I typically only do one take, but Marco just is insisting on being a part. I've taken his bone to the other room because he was crunching it so loudly. So now he wants to play. Okay, so let's see if I can distract him and continue on here. So we're in the middle of a list of scriptures that I compiled as I was going through a very difficult time, and I began to pray those scriptures. I still pray them, but I compiled them as I would read the Bible. So, I read the Bible every day, or most every day, and when I would run across a scripture that kind of shined to me, for lack of a better description, it just really stood out to me of who I needed to be. It was clear that in that present situation, I was not. And I wanted to be better. I wanted to be stronger. I wanted to be what I was reading. And I just when I came across those particular verses, I made them part of the list. Oh, he's got the bone again. We'll deal with some crunching. This is my third time, as I said. So the verse that we're talking about today, and I'll put the reference down in the notes. The verse we're talking about today, the New Living Translation says, "Don't let me stumble," or "He will not let you stumble." And I would pray, "Do not let me stumble." The King James Version says, "He will not allow your foot to be moved." Both of those create a very specific mind picture. He will not allow your foot to be moved. I see a person standing with both feet firmly on the ground. He will not allow you to stumble. I see somebody walking and moving. And I definitely clung at that period in my life to the New Living Translation mind picture. He will not allow you to stumble, because I was actively moving, as I'm moving right now because I'm trying to get away from Marco's bone chewing. I was actively moving. I was walking through the valley of the shadow of death. I needed to keep walking. And though I might stumble in a sense of lose my footing, I was aware that what the Lord was giving me, the promise He was giving me, is I won't let you lay flat on your face here. I will not allow your foot to be moved. I will not allow you to stay on your face, because I was walking through a lot of darkness, and there were a lot of trip ups that I did. There were a lot of mistakes that I made. So I was aware that He wasn't saying, "You will never fail," but He was saying, "I am not going to let you stay flat on your face with the wrong decisions that you've made." Or sometimes it wasn't even decisions I made. It was decisions other people made that caused me to lose my footing. The truth will always prevail. And I began to pray, "Don't let me stumble. Don't let me stay flat on my face." And as you go through your situations of life, tell the Lord, "Don't let me stumble," in the sense of don't let me lay here in the valley of the shadow of death on my face. Get me back up. Help me to see clearly. Help me to walk certainly. Help me to keep moving so I can get out of the valley of the shadow of death. God never intended for us to stay there. God intended for us to get through, and He will help us get through. I am a witness and a testimony that He helps us get through those terrible times, and He gives us triumph again. He gives us success. He gives us great power, but we've got to keep walking, and we've got to make sure He stays our focus. And if He is our focus, and we're not reliant on our own strength, but we're continually putting our opinions, our direction. I keep making these videos long. I said this was my third video, and the first one was the same way. I just keep being reminded every time I make another video and trying to avoid Marco. I keep being reminded that we get really strong opinions when we are walking through the valley of the shadow of death, because we're trying to defend ourselves, we're trying to protect ourselves, we're trying to defend choices that we make, And so that's where that King James Version picture comes into play, with both feet standing. And I did have a lot of instances where I needed to stand on both feet. And I had a lot of instances where I was standing on both feet very strongly, but they were personal opinions that I needed to be knocked out of that position. I needed to be knocked out of that position. This time period that you may be going through is difficult. But just stay focused on the Lord, because whether you need to keep both feet grounded or whether you need to keep both feet moving, the real thing that we need God to do is to not let us stay in a bad place. We need God to orchestrate our feet. So, Lord, don't let me stumble. And whether that means don't let me lose my footing where I've got both feet standing on an opinion strongly, and it's a good opinion, it's a right truth, or whether it means don't let me stay flat on my face as I keep walking. Oh my goodness, this is a long video. I am blaming you. God bless you.
You're at Ezekiel 17.1.